Okay, let's get into this. LeetCode problem 92, reverse a linked list. It's similar to reverse linked list number 1, but it's a bit trickier. I'll show why in a minute. So given the head of a singly linked list and two integers left and right, where left is less than or equals to right, reverse the nodes from the list from position left to position right and return the reverse list. So instead of reversing the whole list, we have to reverse it from this sublist here, as you can see. So yeah, I've already written down using reverse list in a new dummy node before head. So our first step is to check our base case. So if head doesn't exist or left is equal to right. So yeah, so if left is equal to right, you don't have to make any changes, just return head. And then, so you've got your normal head and tail nodes, but for this, we need to set a dummy node. New list of just before the head node to have something to point at when we're done, because we're changing part of the sublist and not the whole list. So we will lose a head pointer if we don't use a dummy before it. So it's like creating a new head almost. So I create my dummy, and then for, so now I'm gonna update my previous counter to the left, the node that's at left. So I need to initialize. Dummy for, so for let I equals 0, I'm going to go ahead and start from 1. Let I is less than left, increment I, and then previous equals previous dot next. So now previous is pointed to the node that is at left. So previous is pointing at 2. Then we go here and we do let cur equal prev.next. So now current is pointed to this 3 here. And then we'll do another loop from the left to the right pointer node to reverse those. So it's kind of similar to a regular reversal, but we're going to change it a bit. So for let I equals left, I less than right, I okay, so we'll do create a next node at cur.next, and then cur.next is equal to next node.next. So other than our regular reversal algorithm, we're going to, instead of pointing it to the previous, we're going to point it to the next node.next, which I'll show why that's important in a second. And then let's see, next node.next is now equals to previous.next, which for this one it'll be pointed back to 3, which is what current is at. And then prev.next is equal to next node. So prev.next is now pointing to that next node, and then on each iteration, your next node is moved up by 1 because your cur next is now pointed to that next node plus 1, basically. So each one you're moving up 1, and you're reversing it. Instead of this to this, this to this, and move it up, you're doing that to that, that to that, and then that to that. So it's hard to explain without a visual. So that looks right, and I'll go ahead and return dummy.next, because your dummy is at this kind of imaginary 0 pointer before the start of the actual list that we're given. So dummy.next will return the head no matter what it is. So let me run it, and it looks like it works.